Yo, what's good, Team Irish Dragon? Welcome back in. So we've got a couple of new items to talk about on this one that just released on the new patch. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we could be talking about, nerfs and buffs, but I want to get into these new items. So the first thing to know is how to obtain them. Go over here to the shop, open that up, down to the Eos Emporium, down to held items, and it's these right here, the Resonant Guard, which grants a shield to the user and nearby ally Pokemon when dealing damage to opposing Pokemon. This effect goes on cooldown after it's triggered. And the Charging Charm. Energy is charged through movement and basic attacks. Dealing damage to opposing Pokemon while energy is full will deal additional damage. So we're going to take a look at how these items work and give a few suggestions on some of the Pokemon that I think are going to absolutely need to use these items. Now, in order to buy them, it requires coins or tickets. Since I've got a plethora of coins at my disposal, I'm going to use those and save my tickets for the item enhancers necessary to upgrade these items. So we went ahead and upgraded them just to the level 20 cap to show you guys that at 20, the attack for the Charging Charm is increased by 10. Its movement speed is 80, and this is the one that gives you additional damage through movement and basic attacks. The Resonant Guard gives you HP and HP recovery. At level 20, it gives you 300 HP and plus 12 HP recovery. I'm not sure if that HP recovery just reflects to the passive recovery you get, or if it's for every form of recovery, like walking through a goal, basing, potions. We'll have to test that and figure it out. But since these guys don't have like flat stats that cap at level 20, like the Cursed Incense that caps at 30, that it weakens the recovery effect by 30%, that caps at level 20, but the special attack increase goes up past that all the way to level 30. I would probably suggest these two items being some that you consider getting to level 30 to maximize the attack and movement speed for the Charging Charm and the HP and HP recovery for the Resonant Guard. Now, if you don't have the tickets to immediately upgrade those, you may still have your trial max tickets that you can find over in your item box. They're inconsumable items, but I'm just going to scroll down here. So these guys right here, the 7-day max grade trial cards, if you want to just boost these items to level 30 for 7 days to test them out, you can just come over here, use them on the Charging Charm, pop another one, use it on the Resonant Guard, and check out exactly what it looks like at level 30. So on the Charging Charm, you can't actually see what the stats are just on the main screen until you're actually at that level, but since I have the grade 30 active, you just press the plus button on your controller, and boom, it gives you plus 15 attack and plus 120 movement speed, which doesn't sound like much, but if you add that with like an attack weight, the overall damage of a Pokemon, and the fact that dealing damage charges energy and gives you additional damage once that's full, which we'll talk about how that works here in a second, that's not a bad attack increase for like an AD carry like Cinderace. The Resonant Guard gives you 450 HP at level 30 and plus 18 recovery at level 30. So like I said, the fact that the stats that would normally be capped at level 20 aren't actually like a number effect as far as it says here. We'll have to wait for the geniuses of the math cord to let us know exactly what the numbers of these shields and stuff are at each level, and then you can decide from there to go past level 20. But I really think that at least the Resonant Guard with maximizing your HP is always really good in Pokemon Unite, because flat HP is so much better than like the defensive stats of Pokemon. I would really suggest the Resonant Guard being a level 30 item if you can attain that. If not, 20 is probably fine, just like all the other items. And then if you can do both of them, the Charging Charm, also a really good candidate for level 30, but we'll have to see again when the geniuses of Math Cord let us know the exact numbers of these items at level 10 and 20, and then if you want to go past 30 for the attack and movement speed, you can decide then. I'm going to bring him into the practice area, and I've removed all of his items, and I'm going to bring just the Charging Charm in so that we can see what kind of damage increase that Charging Charm does with no additional attack boost items. And I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to take my emblems off, and we're going to see what just this item does for Cinderace. Alright, so we've got our Charging Charm on, we've got our Score Bunny, and you can see it down at the bottom there. Actually, hold on, let me move my Irish Dragon logo so you guys can see that a little better. Boom. There we go. You see our charging charm is, as we walk, it's charging up. I assume it goes to 100. Yep, it goes to 100. So now we can see that the basic attack damage has increased. And we're going to go over to this. Actually, we're going to hit our buff right here. Boom. So we've got that. Now we can check out our dummy. Our basic attack would normally do 155 at level 2. So now we got our charm maxed out. We hit it. Boom. 160. So we're getting about 15 more damage for that one basic attack at level 3. But now, a level 9 Cinderace does 340 basic attack, again with no boost emblems or other battle items that increase his attack. Now with the charging charm maxed out, we hit it, and we're looking at 524. So it is a pretty solid increase on just that one basic attack. And since it does increase based on your basic attacks as well as your movement, an 80 carry like Cinderace is a no-brainer to run this on. And we're going to talk about some other Pokemon that I think are going to run this pretty well. But you combo that with the other damages that Cinderace can do, attacking over and over again, kiting around. That's basically like a choice specs, a little slower choice specs for a physical attacker that gets a little bit boosted damage on its auto attacks. So honestly, I think most physical attackers would enjoy and see some value out of the new charging charm, but the Pokemon I think would get the most value and could actually run it more successfully than others are going to be your 80 carries and or Pokemon that you could proc their boosteds very easy, so that not only are you getting the extra damage from that, but you're getting the extra damage on a boosted auto instead of just a regular auto attack. So the Pokemon I think will use this item the best are Cinderace, Razorleaf Decidueye, Dodrio. Honestly, either build, because your entire kit is about getting your sprint gauge up, so that's the movement speed that's going to proc that a whole lot faster. I think your other Pokemon that's going to really enjoy this is Dragapult. It's another Pokemon that you're mostly A-pressing with. The same reason I think Razorleaf Decidueye would really like this item. I think Garchomp's going to like this item because it doesn't really matter when the item procs. If you're in a full team fight and you have full stacks on Garchomp's passive, or not passive, but full stacks on Garchomp's boosted attacks, where he's dealing extra damage already, more attack speed, it doesn't really matter when that item procs. You're going to just get extra damage every time that charm is full. And honestly, I think another Pokemon that sees good value in this is going to be Leafeon. You're running around the map with increased movement speed already. Give this thing more movement speed with the item, and by the time it enters a team fight, that thing will be full. Mewtwo X, I think, really enjoys this item. Most of what you're doing is A-pressing, especially once he goes Mega. And the last one that I think gets a lot of value out of the charging charm, sorry, it's late, I'm tired. The charging charm is Sableye. I think this is going to be like the sleeper Pokemon for this item. His entire job is to run around the map, dive onto an enemy with his boosted, put fear on him, and then start stunning the crap out of them. So why not get extra damage out of that first initial boosted auto that you hit the enemy with? It's a no-brainer for me on Sableye. Like I said, you are just running over the map, so every time you enter a team fight, that charm should be full, ready to go. This Pokemon, and it gives movement speed. Sableye freaking loves movement speed. I don't know a Pokemon on the game, including Dodrio and Leafeon, that enjoys movement speed more than Sableye. Give this guy more movement speed and let him engage with a little bit more damage before he starts stunning the enemy team. If you've got a good team around him, Sableye is going to be incredibly powerful with this item. So now we've got the Resonant Guard, an item that grants a shield to the user and nearby ally Pokemon when dealing damage to opposing Pokemon. Gives you more HP and HP recovery. I honestly think every Pokemon in the game would benefit from using this. Obviously some more than others, but this is going to be like Buddy Barrier back on Remote Stadium where every Pokemon ran it. I'm actually a little concerned about this item. Okay, so the more I think about it, the more I think this is just a broken item that you can put on literally any Pokemon with success. You could put it on a support or defender. I think any support is going to crush with this, giving your team an even bigger shield. But even 80 carries, Cinderace, Greninja, Razor Leaf Decidueye, Garchomp, Outrage Dragonite. These Pokemon are going to grant a shield while stomping you flat. And if any teammates are with them, they're going to get a shield as well. I think this item is going to be a real freaking problem. The number one Pokemon I think runs this, Eldegoss. A Pokemon that already shields and heals your team, gets more HP recovery, and now with the, you guys, I don't need to talk about Eldegoss's auto attacks, you guys know about it. You're giving an even bigger shield to yourself and allies while shielding them and healing them and pressing people down. I think Eldegoss is S tier for the Resonant Guard. And the second Pokemon, if I had to pick only two, gun to my head, two Pokemon, Eldegoss and at number 2, Aurora Veil, Alolan Ninetales, which by the way, just got a freaking buff. So they've buffed Aurora Veil and given it the Resonant Guard. Aurora Veil already shields Alolan Ninetales and any allies that are inside the Aurora Veil. And now while Ninetales is dealing damage, it's getting a bigger shield from the Resonant Guard, and anyone in the vicinity, so already in the Aurora Veil, is getting an even bigger shield while Ninetales attacks. This no-brainer item for Eldegoss and Alolan Ninetales. But again, that's only because you guys made me pick Pokemon to put it on over others. If you put this on any Pokemon, it just says if it deals damage, you get a shield. And again, we're going to have to wait on the math cord to give us the exact numbers. If it's based on HP, based on damage dealt, or whatever, how the shield is determined. Some Pokemon are going to be even better than others based on that stat. But it's just, Pokemon deals damage, gets shield to itself and allies. If you put that on any Pokemon, it's going to do well. Any Pokemon. No one's going to be mad at you for running that. It's going to be like Buddy Berry or back in Remote Stadium. So those are the new held items. I thought that the Charging Charm was going to be crazy when I read the description. And then I read Resonant Guard, and I was like, that sounds pretty cool. And then while I was making this video, I was getting more and more blown away by the idea of Resonant Guard. The aspects of that item, the potential of that item, I think is going to be a bit of a problem, depending on the size of the shield. I haven't used it in battles or anything yet. This is all just theory and speculation. But I think that item is going to be broken, and it's going to be something we need to watch out for. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep living the dream.